Welcome back to V-Rule. I'm Rob, and we have a giveaway. Glaring Articuno tin from Crown Zenith, 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown, and a Pokemon Mystery Prize. Going out to 4 lucky winners. We just need to hit that 2,500 subscriber threshold. That's where we're aiming. That's where we're headed. And it's easy. You got to like, of course, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell. I post 7 days a week. Since you're doing all that down there anyways, check out the description. There's a link there to an original video where I posted this giveaway from the beginning. That's the one you want to follow, and leave an additional comment there to be sure that you are entered to win, because that's the one I'm going to be pulling the winners from when the time comes, meeting that threshold. Let's jump into it. It is our Media Monday because I look at all things kind of in the news of Pokemon. This is not actually a recent clip from what I've been finding here on let's just jump in. Let's jump in. PBS Antique Roadshow. If you've seen it, if not, it's entertaining. It's interesting, and I really like history, so it's kind of fun there. But when something like Pokemon pops up, it's especially entertaining, and I'll have some B-roll footage going in and out. I don't know. Haven't edited yet. I'm still recording. My gosh, give me a break. This one aired back in, what was it, April of 2023. So this is a while ago now. But it kind of resurfaced just in the past month or so, and I saw it pop up, and then I saw it show up again today, and a couple days ago, I guess. But in preparation for today, I thought, you know what, it might be a good one to cover because it kind of hits home on something that I've been noticing and stating, especially when we're going through our different reviews of the artwork, or going through reviewing sets of old and kind of the best selling of them in our Fight for First Fridays. So it kind of hits home in this way, specifically speaking about vintage and their current value. Now, this one was interesting because they walked through it, and this woman, she said her mom bought her this binder of Pokemon cards because she was getting taken advantage of in her trades, and her mom said, here's a complete set, all the different cards, go ahead and keep it. They said, you know, late 90s something is what she remembers. Well, 1999 is when it was introduced into the U.S., so it must have been late 90s because that's when it first existed here. So 1999 is probably when this took place of acquiring that binder. Like a lot of us, we were collecting, but her mom went and bought it for a grand total of $35. My goodness, what you wouldn't give, right, to get that at 35 bucks, even back then, knowing you could hold it for today. Even today, with vintage not being nearly the value that it was at the time of this appraisal, or even before that 2020, 2021 time frame. So very interesting, but I thought a few things to point out here. He walks through the different things of like an unlimited, first edition, shadowless versus non-shadowless, and we can leave all those things to a later date if we want to get to it. I'm sure most of you know what it is, or you've been in the hobby long enough that you've seen the difference here, or you've heard about it and maybe you've already done your own research. If the time is right and it fits the video, I'll come around and say it. But one thing I thought was interesting, and I got to jump to the transcript here, he points out that the Charizard is shadowless, and at this time period in 2023, in its condition, which looked like kind of maybe a light play, maybe into moderate, but depends on how picky you're going to be, probably would have been a light play for most people, $2,000 to $3,000. And then kind of the bad news was just a year prior, maybe not even, but a year or two prior, I was going for like a $5,000 to $8,000 range. Okay, so I thought, where is this at? What are we looking at here? Shadowless Charizard, kind of hard to pinpoint because there's not a lot of sales on it. Hard to decipher if it's first edition or not. You can assume it's not, typically. You would almost always assume that the Shadowless and first edition go hand in hand, but there was a group of Shadowless that were not first edition right before they came out with the Unlimited. So something to be aware of if you're ever looking into this. I was looking at some recent sales over the long period of time, and you can dive into it with different pictures and everything. Crazy price of moderate played first edition, probably shadowless with the picture there, $4,200, and then you have moderate played unlimited at $730. So it's kind of all over the place in what you get here, but I kind of think I nailed it down of what today would be saying here. A light played hollow shadowless Charizard, obviously hollow, but it's not, it doesn't have that little border, that little pop out shadow there. It is a shadowless, and at $875 in a light play condition. That seems reasonable for today's market, and that goes to show that vintage doesn't equal value. In fact, if we were talking about this set, yeah, $35 would have been great. But even in today's standards, the reality that here we are 24 years, 25 years later since that, and you could have picked it up. You can pick it up here. Shadowless set complete, $1,600. Now you get in a little bit deeper here. The pictures are okay, hard to tell. Actually, the Charizard of the big three probably looks to be the best on this particular listing here. Obviously, there's wear all over the place. This Blastoise looks really destroyed. Bunch of pitting and creases in here. All those scratches going on the hollow. Really chewed up edges. All those black spots. Everybody remember seeing that there. Those dirt spots that just got burned into these cards when you were trading with your friends. Not thinking much of the value at the time, that's for sure. When you could get the whole set for $35, I guess that's why it wasn't super important. Look at these gouges into this Venusaur. It looks like it was ripped up by a cat. And then we have nasty crease. So full set, sure, you might be able to say you have it, put it in a binder, and yay, ta-da, done. $1,600 really isn't that bad, even for the condition. And if you could make an offer, I'd probably talk it down a little bit lower, do some research, but it would take some time to kind of piecemeal where that's at, what makes sense, and be realistic. Even harder to see the photos because there's groups of them, but it does look like the condition is a little bit better here. Across the board, still a lot of scuffing there on that Blastoise. So hard to say. You'd have to flip through. $1,950 on this listing. Found another one, 23, 27-ish. It's doing a conversion from Canadian dollars because that's where it's actually living right now. So this one a little bit higher, but maybe the condition is a little bit better, and that's what's going to do it. But really, when we're talking about it and seeing these things for the entire set, $2,300. He was saying 2,000 to 3,000. If you're going off just that one Charizard, and then the entire set, they appraised somewhere in the neighborhood of, and it was wild because it's based on condition and the auction, who's going to be there, between 5,000 and 10,000. I mean, that's a pretty big spread, but it is what it is, and we're nowhere near that anymore. This is not even a quarter of that high price there of 10,000 coming down to be 25, and it's not even there. So vintage does not always mean value. However, I don't think it's going away. I think Pokemon's here to stay. And it wouldn't be horrible to have it and be able to get this stuff as a part of a collection. If you're a vintage collector, if it's something you want to go after, you could probably go piece by piece rather than the full set and do a lot better than even some of these prices here. And it could be anywhere from condition. But just looking at some of these here, again, median price or market price $350, but then you have $6,150. That could be a terrible condition. It's really hard to say what you're looking at in these, but they do exist. They're out there. It's all over the place. And you know what? Maybe you're not into picking up vintage. Maybe you want to pick up some modern, and maybe I can help out with giving it away for free. The Galarian Articuno tin from Crown Zenith, 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown. That's a little bit more modern. Crown Zenith is even getting old now. And then a mystery prize going out to 4 lucky winners. Go back to the beginning. Watch what you got to do. Of course, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that bell because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.